Welcome to the Financial G-Spot. I'm Robyn Crane, and I'm here with Stacey Bridges, all the way from, where are you again?
McLean, Virginia.
Virginia. Where in Virginia?
In McLean, Virginia. It's tucked away, a nice little
I don't know where that is.
hideaway outside of DC.
Awesome. Well, cool. Oh, so you're not that far then if you're in DC. Okay. Not too crazy. So this show, as you may have you seen the show before? Are you just coming on and taking a leap of faith?
No, actually, I've listened to your show before, so that's why
Okay,
I'm coming
good.
back, because I need some advice, darling.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to give you advice. So this show is all about really finding the specific area that you need to focus on so that you can feel great about money. So let's find out what your challenge is. Tell me, Stacey, why are you here? Tell me what's your biggest problem.
Well, I'm probably one of the smallest business women you know.
You don't
I'm
look
a
that
young
small.
widow.
You look like human size.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And you
you.
have a beautiful
So,
smile, by the way.
thank you so much. Thanks to my dentist. He takes
It's
good care
very
of me.
very white teeth. How do you do it? It's a whole nother
I
show,
watch
right?
what I eat, brush, floss, all the crazy
Wow.
stuff. I'm very obsessive compulsive. So
Oh, good. So that's all you need. If you want white teeth, you become OCD. All right. So tell me about your problem. I'm sorry I digress here.
no problems. My biggest problem is I'm breaking even, and I'm afraid to go beyond that point because I don't owe anyone anything. And I like the fact that I don't owe anyone anything. I can pay my bills. I can pay my taxes. I don't have as much disposable income as I
Right.
would like, but I don't have debt either.
Got it. Well, that's
So
cool. You're better than most Americans. So, but tell me, what is this small business? You said I'm the smallest person you'll meet or something. What does that mean to you?
yeah, well, I own two properties. One is a residential property that I rent out, sort of like a little boarding house.
Okay.
And the other property is a historical building out in Elkton, Maryland that I
Cool.
just leased out actually to Edward Jones
Really?
for five
Nice.
years. It's
Cool.
amazing, and they're actually doing like a lot of renovations on the building,
Hmm.
just to get it Edward Jones ready,
Really?
which I am just absolutely beside myself because that is like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. It's not even that
The, pro-
disguised. What's the disguise?
the problem is I want to make them happy and I want them to stay there.
Yeah.
And like I said, my building is a historic building. It's 100 years old,
Okay.
and it needs a new cedar roof. Okay.
Right.
And I was thinking about going into my Edward Jones account and taking money out of my retirement plan and getting the cedar roof fixed. So when they do come in, everything's beautiful and
But
bright.
it needs to be
But
fixed because you want it to be fixed, or does it need to be fixed because it's actually falling apart and it could be dangerous or have a leak or whatever?
it doesn't have a leak. It's more cosmetic that it would be done. It could stand the test of time. I mean, it's not pressing.
Hmm.
But I don't want it to get to the point where it is, because once it gets to that point, it's too late and it's already a disaster.
Okay. And
Okay.
when did they just started renting just like recent, they just started this lease?
Yeah, they're going to start actually after Labor Day. They're going to start
Okay.
on Memorial Day,
So were
actually,
you
and start the
getting
renovation.
were you getting income from this property before?
I was, but it was from a very bad tenant,
Okay.
unfortunately. I leased to a church, and that should have told me something
I've
from
heard
the get-go.
I actually have heard other stories like that, which is unfortunate, but
You have to
so
pay before you pray, put it that way.
it
And I've met more shysters
really.
hiding behind the Bible and pretending to be children of God or on a mission from God. And if you're trying to do good and help the community, I'll give you a break in your rent, because I'm thinking you're trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference to me. But unfortunately,
Well, let's assume it's just
uh,
them because we don't want to say anything about churches in general, but yeah. So you had a bad experience. So they weren't paying their rent on time or they weren't paying enough
they,
or both?
oh my God, not only were they not paying their rent, they were supposed to pay the utilities and didn't
Mm.
pay the heat, and bursted the pipes in
Oh my
my
gosh.
100-year-old historic
Oh.
building.
So how'd you pay for that? You had money set aside?
Actually I had to fix it because before, I didn't tell you this, but I'm a young widow, and
Oh,
that's
I'm
how I
sorry.
got into the real estate industry. My
Hmm.
fiance died in 30 days, after his doctor gave him a 30-day sample of Abilify for stress.
Oh God.
And he
So
died
sorry.
a painful and horrific death.
That's
And it was
awful.
quick and it was sudden. And I was just basically trying to pick up the pieces because I literally, I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched a loved one disintegrate right before your
Luckily,
eyes,
no. Thank God. I'm sorry you
but
went through that.
it's the most horrific thing you ever wanted to see. And to know that these drugs are advertised on TV and passed out to every man, woman, and child, I literally relive his death every time I watch TV or open a magazine and see these deadly drugs on TV
Yeah.
because they are the equivalent to a PCP, acid, and cocaine
God.
combined. It's
Yeah.
deadly. But I ended up, luckily, my fiance loved me in life, just like he did in death, and he took good care of me. So I was able to purchase this home. I was able to purchase his office building that he once owned, and I was able to
That's
stay
good.
at home and mourn his death and pretty much lobby. That's pretty much what I do. I fight the pharmaceutical companies like David
Wow.
fights Goliath on trying to get money out of politics and get these pharmaceutical drugs off labeled off the air and stop passed out. So I spend most of my time doing that, and I get my income from my properties so that I
Got it.
am able to go out and do what I need to do.
Awesome. So let me pause you for a sec because we're going to have to go to a break. But so what I want to do when we come back is really get clear. The reason I was asking this question, sorry about the background noise. I got some friends over here. So this is real life, people. But the reason I asked you that question of how much you were getting paid before is because what I'm getting at is trying to find if you don't need to do the roof right away, if maybe we can get some income from the property first and then do it. So let's find out more about that. Again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network, and I'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Financial G-Spot. I'm Robyn Crane here with Stacey Bridges, and we're trying to figure out what is the challenge here that you're having. You have a couple rental properties that you're living off of, and it's very cool that you have a mission in life. So I see that you're really trying to lobby against, no judgments here. I have no idea. I don't know much about it, but lobby against pharmaceutical companies, which is just interesting because what is it? The number 5 killer? I know the wrong, getting the wrong.
Honey, every year, 200,000 Americans die each year from taking
There it
pharmaceutical
is.
drugs
There it is.
correctly.
Correctly?
2 million, correctly, taking it correctly.
Wow.
Another 2 million people suffer permanent side effects after taking one of these drugs that have been approved by the FDA. 750,000 Americans attempt suicide after taking an antidepressant advertised on TV,
Oh
and
my gosh.
30,000 are successful in taking their own life. This is every year.
Yeah.
In
So
fact, the FDA and the CDC and updated the CDC's report in 2012, which stated that painkillers kill 17,000 Americans each year. That's more deaths than cocaine and heroin
oh
combined.
my gosh.
We've got a serious problem here.
So we want to
And
make sure you
the
can
money,
focus on your mission in life because obviously you're really, really passionate about it. So let's figure out this money thing so that you can spend your time doing that. So right now you have 2 properties. What was the? Did you have positive cash flow when you had the church on the historical building? Was it positive or was it just breaking even?
the problem with them is that they paid for a couple of months and then they stopped. And I have one assistant that I pay who's my lifesaver, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
They had the nerve to let Rick go and tell them that they could handle paying the lease, the bill themselves. And when they did that, they stopped paying. I ended up having to take them into court in December for failure to pay, and they only gave me enough to keep them out of court. And when you're dealing with the court, it's very difficult to get someone out of a building.
So where
You've
did
got
that? Yeah. So where did the money come from? That was like you just had a
well,
savings.
what had ended up happening was, luckily I was breaking even and I was able
Mm-hmm.
to pay my bill, so it wasn't a problem. But um, a pipe had bursted,
Right.
and I had
Yeah.
went into the building, and I had found out. I asked Rick if the building was cold, and he said it was chilly, and they had space heaters in there. And I said, well, you can't heat a historic building with space heaters.
Mm-hmm.
A part of their lease was that they put heat in the building. They need gas heat to heat the building. So when I went in there, I found out that not only did they not have heat, they never turned it on. I guess, to save
So
money.
let me cut you off because I want to make sure we spend the time working on your money and not just the challenges that happen. So what I'm noticing is that you're very fixated. I'm just going to be totally brutally honest with you. You're very fixated on what the problems that happened. So I get it. Like, and it sounds like it was they were a terrible tenant, but I want to make sure this doesn't happen again and also figure out the money. So is that okay with you if I'm like totally cutting to the chase?
Cut to the chase, because
Okay.
yes, God has blessed me with a great tenant who came back and
Yeah.
actually are going to do renovations on the building. And that's the thing. Not only am I so grateful and appreciative
Yeah.
that they want to invest in a historic building and move from, a commercial to Main Street. And
Right.
actually, it's a good place for them to be because mostly lawyers and it's right down the street from the courthouse. So lawyers, accountants, it's where they need to be. And that's potential income. It's right down the street from the hospital.
So it's a
So
win-win.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a
So
win-win.
let's get to the money. So when you ended things with the church, you broke even. You had to. I'm assuming you had to dip into your savings because the
No,
pipe
no,
burst.
I did not break even.
So you were
They cost
behind.
me more money.
Where did that money
Yes,
come from? Your savings because you didn't go into debt.
I ended up having to dip into my retirement fund. I
Got
dipped
it.
into
Okay,
a
got it.
little bit of my
So you dipped
IRA.
into your IRA. Okay. Now the money that's going to come in from the new tenant. Is it more than how much is it and how much is your mortgage and all the expenses?
I don't have a mortgage. It's double. Just put it that way. It's double what
Oh,
I'm paying.
nice.
They're paying all the utilities plus they're doing renovations to the building. It's nothing.
Okay, so
It's a
what
miracle.
is the net that you're
And
bringing in? How much are you bringing in net for that building
um
per month?
and net um right now they just took over. So they're taking over the utilities and everything.
Okay.
So I had to go
So
back.
do you know your
So right
numbers?
now I'm sort of breaking even, and
What do you mean?
that's
So
why I
I'm
called you,
confused
Rob.
about breaking even. If you don't have a mortgage, what are your expenses? What do you mean you're breaking even? You're
I,
not making income?
I, I no, I'm making income. I'm making enough to pay my bills and to pay my taxes.
Okay, so let's
Now,
forget, hold on. Let's forget about your bills right now as far as your personal bills. I'm talking about how much net do you bring in from the property? So not not how much you net after your personal bills. I'm talking about how much do you bring in from the property? Positive cash
I
flow.
I pretty much break even. I break even.
But that's why I'm confused.
Put
You
it that way.
break, but on the property you break even.
I'm not making any money and I'm not losing any
So
money.
you're
I can
making
say
zero
that
money
I
on the
owe.
property, but you have no mortgage. So what are you paying for?
I'm paying for, like the utilities, but now that I got my new tenants in there, I don't have to pay for those
That's what I'm talking
things.
about. When the new tenants come and you're getting a check from them every month, what do they pay you every month for that property? What will they pay you? I know they haven't started yet.
It's kind of personal, but
Okay, so you don't want to tell me the number.
it's a decent amount. I don't want to talk about it, but it's based on square footage, and they've got an entire first floor.
Okay, so here's what
Um,
the reason I'm asking. If you don't want to disclose it, that's fine. But I'm confused because you're saying you're breaking even. You mean based on not getting any income?
Based on not owing anybody anything.
Okay,
That's how
okay.
I feel like I'm doing good because I don't. At the end of the day, I don't owe anybody
Okay,
anything.
so how
Bills are
much do you
paid.
have to pay for the roof? How much do you have to pay for the roof? Will you disclose that?
Well, the roof we're looking at maybe about ten to
Okay.
$15,000 because it's
So the reason I'm asking how much you're netting on a monthly basis from that property is because you're saying that you don't want to come out of pocket to pay for the roof. And you told me it's mostly cosmetic. You'd like to do it, but you don't have to do it. So what I'm trying to figure out from a numbers point of view is how many months do you have to wait to get rent, net income that you can actually have saved and then use it for the roof so that you don't have to come out of pocket or dip into your retirement.
I would say maybe in about 7 months
Okay.
after they move in, or even maybe sooner.
Okay,
Seven
cool.
to, but I kind of wanted to do it before they moved in, and so that they wouldn't have to deal with all the construction because they're doing the construction now.
Okay, well then,
And so I
so
figured
you basically have two options. I mean, I'm good at pulling money out of nowhere, but like I don't know enough about your money to find out where that money can come from. So what you came to
my
me with,
retirement plan is where it's going to come from.
is your biggest challenge is that you don't know how to pay for this roof, or should you dip into your savings? You like not having debt. So when we come back, we'll come up with a solution so it's done, and you know what you're going to do. So again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network. I'm Robyn Crane, and I'll see you right after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the Financial G-Spot. I'm here with Stacey Bridges, and we're trying to figure out how can you pay for the roof, but without getting out of your savings or your retirement. And it seems like we're coming to the conclusion that that's not an option, and that's not something you're willing to do. So the biggest challenge for you is that you feel like the only way you can pay for that roof, which you feel like you've already decided that you're going to do, the only way you can do it is to take money out of your retirement. Is that true?
Yeah, and I would hate to do that because I want to build that up. I dipped into it already to fix the pipes and everything. And I don't want to dip into it again. I want to build that up. Actually, I want to start adding money to it.
And it sounds like without knowing how much you have in there, it sounds like you really need to, because I can tell by the look on your face that it's something that worries you. Yes?
Well, I've got 100,000 in my retirement, and I want to keep it there because that's my retirement. And if anything happens, granted, I can always sell the properties if I needed money. But if anything happened to me, my fiance would literally roll over in his grave and come back.
It's one way to get him back.
Homeless. Yeah. That's a good way, actually. I never thought about that. But not a good idea. But he would just come back from the grave if I were homeless and destitute. So that's another fear that I have. I want to make sure I manage what I have, and that's why I purchased the properties.
So let me tell you this. Okay, so look, you have two options, okay? The first option is you take from your retirement, and you're talking about 10%, which is a big chunk of your retirement. I don't know how old you are, but if you want to retire anytime soon, I mean, you're basically retired, right? You're retired right now, and you're living off the properties. So you can do this for the rest of your life, and you're right to think that I need to take care of the properties because this is pretty much your retirement. Because if you lose one of those properties, you sell one of those properties, before you know it, you're going to have nothing left because you're going to spend that money because you don't have income besides the properties, right? So exactly. You need to eat one of two options. Number one, you take money out of your retirement and you just say, write it off, and that's fine. And then you actually, the money coming in from the new tenant, you have to save and put back into your retirement on a monthly basis. You can't just start spending it on things and telling yourself, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. You have to commit to putting it back into your retirement account. Okay, so that you actually replenish it, and it's just kind of more like a loan than actually taking money out of your retirement. That's one option. The second option is that you said there's actually three options. The second option is that you say, no, I'm not going to get them a roof until I save up the money from the income I get from the property. I save it. So whatever it was, we don't know the number, but let's say it takes 7 months to do that. You save for 7 months. It's not falling apart. It's not leaking. You don't need to do that. You can wait, save it up first, and then you don't have the problem of having to dip into your retirement. That's your second option. Your third option. You ready for the third option?
Yeah.
Okay. The third option is that you go get some part-time job. Now, you're lobbying, you're very passionate about what you do, but maybe you can start getting creative and figuring out, is there a way to still be passionate about what you do and go pursue this venture against the pharmaceutical companies, which obviously you feel very strongly about, but find a way to make some income? Can you do consulting? Can you find a part-time job? Can you make money lobbying? I don't know. Can you do something else where you're working part-time? Because right now, if you're only managing properties, I'm sure you're busy. And if you really wanted to make extra income, you could find a way. Because if you didn't have the properties, you would have found a way, right?
Yeah.
But you want to stay happy. You want to stay, doing what you love doing. And if you're passionate about it, great. But what if you can start making money off the thing that you're most passionate about?
Actually, that's a very good idea, and I never thought about that. To be honest, that's
the Financial G-Spot, ladies and gentlemen. We just found it. Ba-ba-ba.
I mean, and you know what, Robyn? That is the most obvious thing. It's like right in my face. I never thought about why not seeking. I'm close to DC. Why not go to a lobbying firm?
You would kill it. You would kill it. I had to shut you up. You're so passionate about it.
I mean, I just had an epiphany, and I don't know if it's a blonde moment. Sorry, Marilyn, but that was just a brilliant idea. I never thought about actually making a serious living. It was just the passion that drove me.
You know what?
And maybe that's something. look into.
You should. I mean, it's great to volunteer, and if you have the luxury to do that, great. But let's be honest. I don't know how old you are, but you're not 20, okay?
I'm 48.
Neither. How old
I'm
are you?
young 48.
48. Very
48.
nice skin. Very
I'm
nice skin.
Halle Berry 48.
Okay, so you're 48 years old. You have a really great outlook. I mean, as far as getting property to pay your bills, if that's working or not in debt, like that's amazing. But anything can happen. Look, I had clients, they were in their 60s. They had this property that was giving them just a ton of income each month. It was property they inherited. It was a property they never thought would ever go away. I mean, it was just in their financial plan, and I believed them. I sat down with them and I was like, oh, that's great. And I was thinking, wow, these guys are totally set. And they had their house paid off and they were hoarders, so they actually were set. But 3 years later, they lost the property. And there was a lawsuit, and there was this, and there was that, and there was a bunch of different owners because it was all inherited. And then basically they did get it paid out. But, a property that's giving you $3 to $4 a month and then you get $500,000, it's actually not that much because the income was just income that could last till they're 100, 110 for the rest of their life, right? Yes, my relatives will live till 110. They were relatives of mine. So my point is that you can tell yourself all you want, I'm fine, this will last forever, until another pipe bursts or the roof falls off or something happens, and then you're in a lawsuit like you were, and it's not what you thought it was. So I'm giving you a little bit of pain, a little bit of urgency, so you can be like, you know what? This luxury that was given to me, God bless my ex, poor guy who passed away and left me in this wonderful place financially. I'm luckier than most, but don't take it for granted. You're a wonderful woman with a lot of passion where you can earn some income. Why not be better off? Why not be really substantially, why not be wealthy instead of just be getting by, And so go take your passion and go make some money from it.
I think I like option 3.
Yeah.
I like option 3, and that way I can put money back into Edward Jones. I can even give my new tenants some money, which I would like to do to invest for me, because I already have Edward Jones client, and I would like to have my new clients open up new accounts for me. So I think that's something that I'm seriously going to look into, and I'm going to start researching that right after we get off the air. I'm
Sweet.
totally serious, Robyn. I'm and I think you gave me advice before about was it about grants and how it can take time to get grants to do this, and there is a process. Well, in between me getting grants and doing that, I could be making a lot of money.
Yeah. Why not?
Working in the lobbying field or back in marketing and advertising.
I
where I
guarantee
was.
some people in that field are making a ton of money, especially
Yeah.
against the pharmaceutical companies. And I don't know any of the details or what you can do or how. You have to do the research, but there's money to be made for sure. There's definitely a lot of people out there who feel the same way you do and want to make a transformational change in the industry. And you got a lot against you with the heavy, pharmaceutical, lots of big money there. But hey, there's someone out there that wants your help. So I absolutely think not only will you be making money, which is great for yourself and your financial future, and just empowered as a woman who's making money because of what she does and who she is and how she's making a difference in the world, not just collecting on, property, is also going to really elevate your confidence and make you really feel. And I know you're doing it now anyway, but there is something to be said both ways. There's something to be said about doing things and just as a volunteer, but when you get paid to do something, there's an emotional experience. Money is emotional, right? And when you start to do something where someone pays you a lot of money to do that, you feel more validated, you feel more valued, you feel more that you're making, you just feel like there's a way you're really impacting the world. And you can do it without making money. Don't let me tell you you can't, because philanthropists feel the best because they're just giving and giving and giving. And you can do both. You can make a huge difference, make some money, and give back and spread it around. I mean, you got passion, girl.
It reminds me of that old phrase: "If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life."
Nice.
And
yes.
This is something that I would love to do, and it wouldn't be work for me. So getting into the industry as far as lobbying against the pharmaceutical, I'm in the right area to do it. I don't know why I didn't think about doing it professionally.
You did what most people do, Stacey, which is get comfortable. You got comfortable, and there's no one lighting a fire under your ass. So here I am to light the fire under your ass. And those of you listening at home, what is it that you know you could be doing? And you could make money, or you could do something that you really, really love and make a difference in this world. So this episode is for you, so that to light the fire under your ass, to go do something, go make more money, go make a bigger difference, and find your financial G-spot. So thank you so much for being here, Stacey. Thank you at home for watching. And I will see you next time. Again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
The Financial G-Spot is also available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. See the link in the description below.